Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a while since I put a video out. It's been kind of a busy spring, summer, fall. I'm not going to get too deep into what's been going on the track. I wanted to show you what I'm working on right now. As you can tell, there's a piece of MDF on the table here. My dad has asked to have a track built for his garage, and he is limited to a 4x8 sheet, which doesn't allow for a lot of room options for track design. But I've come up with a few ideas, and I've got it kind of penciled out here, and I'll just give you kind of the lay of the land on why I chose this design and how I've actually got it all penciled out here. So let's get into that. So just mind the mess in the background, but what you can see here is I've got a 4x8 sheet of 1/2 inch MDF. And I kind of have a pencil mark design already laid down, and I'll kind of show you what it was that I had for inspiration here. Initially, I had come up with this design with some sort of crossover, but the issue that I didn't really like about this was they were all basically left-hand turns. So you're going to have one lane that's just significantly faster than the other. And this is the other option I came up with. Now I've basically got this on the board with a couple changes. I mean, this is obviously not to scale, and once you start putting it on pen to paper, you start to realize that the design you had rough sketched may or may not work. So we'll just kind of go over a couple of the details here. So one of the big things is lane spacing. Now I wanted to maintain a specified distance off the wall here, and I have achieved a 4-inch distance from the center of this lane to the outside of the track plate or the track surface itself. And then between lanes, I've tried to maintain about 3.5 inches. As you can see here, all of that is all 3.5. I deviated away from this and tried to make the track just a pinch longer, and I've actually thrown in a crossover here, so as guys are coming around this corner, someone's going to have to yield to let the other person sneak by, kind of like a racing line type situation, right? Someone cuts the apex early, someone cuts it late, and then maintain the 3.5 inch spacing around the side here. And then again, because we've switched lanes over here, we got to get one more switch in to ensure that one car stays in the same lane at all times. So yeah, and then from here it gets a little bit wider so that one person can kind of carry a bit more speed, because they're going to lose quite a bit of it here, right? So we'll I think this is round 4 if I remember correctly. It's pushing 4. Let me just side here. Yeah, there you go. So it gets a little bit wider here just because I had the room in this zone. So, and then it zips back quickly to 3.5. So the plan here is to get some material to create a fence for my router, and I've already got the router bit. You guys are probably familiar with what this thing looks like. This is a router bit that I picked up from Slot Car Corner a few months back. I had the inclination at some point that I would be attempting to build a wood track. So there's lots of materials out there to make circles. You can get a nice wooden compass type of thing. There's probably metal tools out there. I used a piece of wire. I use this Cat 6 wire for my axle box builds, and I just had a piece lying on the ground, and I thought, I wonder if I just made a little hook. You can see the hook there. I put the pencil in that hook, and then I could just anchor the wire, draw a nice circle. So that's kind of what I did. I'll show you how I did it. So right now I've got this wire anchored with a piece of tape. Now when I did this, I actually anchored it with my other finger so that I could ensure that it wasn't going to walk on me, but I'm doing this one-handed because I got the camera in my hand. And grab a pencil here, and all I did was took stick the pencil inside this groove, and oops, I would just walk the pencil around the track. Now from this point all the way to this point over here, basically a full 180 at the same radius. And then once I got to this point, basically took a square and I drew a straight line, so that, call it like a node, and then from that node forward I changed the radius. And basically it's just picking a new center point, shortening the length of the wire, taking a few degrees, stopping, shortening the wire, picking a new center point to create, a reducing radius turn. And then, basically you just make it 3.5 inches longer to do the other lane. Yeah, and that's basically how I have made every single one of these turns. I just picked kind of a rough center point. Obviously this section here I've abandoned. I've added this just to kind of use a bit more of the track surface, get a few more meters out of the board itself. Yeah, again, I'm trying to maintain a sizable distance from the wall so that, cars that are drifting, take this car for example, if this car is drifting, oops, it's not going to make impact with that wall too hard. Ideally, whoever's coming around this corner is going to have a bit of control. They're not going to pivot this car so far that it strikes the side. Yeah, it looks like it, when you get to a point like this, this is kind of a deciding point for this car to let that car through, because they've obviously stuck the corner too wide, and you just have to pick and choose your time to strike on your opponents. So we'll, I think the next step here is to get things routed. And the method for routing that I've been taught by an individual that I race with in the city is you take a piece of polycarbonate or plexi or whatever it's called, something plastic, flexible, and it's fairly tall and maybe like 1/2 or 3/4 of an inch wide, and it has holes every couple of inches, and you finishing nail down this plastic fence, and it allows you to do the straight lines. If you want to do it with that piece, it's more kind of geared towards allowing you to make the curvature of the lanes. So you would nail this piece down at whatever the edge to center distance of your router is, nail it down, route the groove, and then there's another piece you'd slide into the groove that you'd already routed, and that allows you to fence the second one. Now, I'm not confident that my router is 3.5 inches, so I might have to put the fence down for both lanes to get the spacing that I'm looking for. So I will keep everyone in the loop on how this goes, and I hope that I don't run into any snags that slow me down. But I think for power stations, we'll probably put one here, a little 3-post driver stand, so that one person has sight line of the track this way, and then there'll be lots of room right here for the other driver stand. We'll have another station here, and it might actually come down to we'll route the edges so that it's not so square. I don't think my dad wants to have any scenery things, because he wants to be able to put this up in the ceiling space when he wants to park his car there. So we'll probably make it as small and light as we possibly can. Maybe here I'll route a little section out so that it's lighter, a little bit lighter. Round this out a little bit. Take a little bit out of there, perhaps. We'll see. But I think aside from the routing part, I have an idea for the substructure, some sort of wooden platform that holds it all together in one piece. It's entirely possible that once this is all routed, that we could cut jigsaw section here so that this could be raised a couple of inches to kind of give it a bit of a three-dimensional depth. That would be kind of neat in this zone. Maybe here as well, it could be kind of a hill climb, downhill, a little bit of off camber as you're coming down. Yeah, I think the options here are just kind of growing, but I really hope that this turns out. This is obviously a first stab, and I know darn well that if this goes well, that something might happen over here in the near future. I'll keep you posted on how all this goes. I would like to string all the work that I do on this together in one video, so this might actually be something that becomes kind of a lengthier video down the road, but this is just kind of an introduction on what it is that I'm up to. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope that everyone's doing well, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.